Perseverance Mars rover took this panorama on August 4, 2024, which looks south toward the rim of the Zero crater. Docks Castle, a region the Perseverance science team wants to visit during the rover's climb up the crater rim, is about a half-mile away on the left side of the hill at right. After exploring Docks Castle, the rover will continue its climb up the crater rim, taking a route somewhere in between the two hills. In this image from high-rise camera on NASA's Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, the dark branched features in the floor of Antoniadi crater look like giant ferns or fern casts. However, these ferns would be several miles in size and are composed of rough, rocky materials. A more likely hypothesis is that this represents a channel network that now stands in inverted relief. The channels may have been lined or filled by indurated materials, making the channel feel more resistant to erosion by the wind than surrounding materials. After probably billions of years of wind erosion, the resistant channels are now relatively high standing. The material between the branched ridges has a fracture pattern and color similar to deposits elsewhere on Mars that are known to be rich in hydrated minerals such as clays. The inverted channels have short, stubby branches characteristic of formation by groundwater sapping. Spring water seeps into the channels and undercuts overlying layers which collapse so the channels grow headward. These images tell the story of an ancient wet environment on Mars where life could have been possible. This view shows a hill named Bolivar that is capped by layered bedrocks and its adjacent sand ridges. The view was captured by Curiosity rover using its mast camera. On the horizon of this panorama are the double Twin Peaks hills, which are visible about 2 kilometers away. A lander pedal is seen at left center, showing the fully deployed forward ramp at far left and rear ramp at right, which Sojourner rover used to descend to the surface of Mars. Immediately to the left of the rear ramp is a rock, which scientists found to be andesitic, possibly indicating it is a volcanic rock or a physical mixture of particles. Just beyond that rock, rover tracks lead to Sojourner, shown using its alpha proton X-ray spectrometer instrument to study a large rock which is low in quartz content and appears more like the common basalts found on Earth. The tracks and circular pattern in the soil leading up to the rock were part of Sojourner's soil mechanics experiments, in which varying amounts of pressure were applied to the wells in order to determine physical properties of the soil. Deflated airbags are also visible at perimeter of all 3 lander pedals. Sojourner spent 83 days of a planned 7-day mission exploring the Martian terrain, acquiring images, and taking chemical, atmospheric, and other measurements. This rock here was the first rock Opportunity rover examined in detail on the rim of Endeavour crater. It has textures and composition unlike any rock the rover examined during its first 90 months on Mars. Its characteristics are consistent with the rock being a breccia, a type of rock fusing together broken fragments of older rocks. The rock is about 12 inches tall. Perseverance rover captured this 360-degree view of a region on Mars where an ancient river flowed billions of years ago. Also visible is Perseverance itself, though not all of the rover was imaged in this panorama. The rover's mast or head is visible in silhouette at bottom center. This approximately 370-mile long outflow channel is part of a larger system that begins in Argyll Basin to the south and extends northwards across the southern highlands towards the larger Ares Valles outflow system on Mars. This view shows part of Leaden Valles that is located within Leaden Basin. Here, the extensive laterally continuous outcrops of layered light-toned units and deposits contrasts sharply with the darker toned materials that cover the channel floor. Dark toned dunes partially infill fractures and also impact craters. These extensive layers may have resulted from ponding of water and sediments that flowed into the basin from Leaden Valles. Subsequent episodic flood events out of the basin to the north may have eroded and exposed the pre-existing sedimentary layers. Curiosity rover took this amazing panorama, which shows a view of sunset on Mars and the Martian sky having its delicate blue halo just above the sun in the sky.